Hello there. Thanks for joining me once again this week. TMAC is my name. DLI is the channel. Development, Empowerment and Leadership Initiative. This is an NGO where we have a vision of world transformation, one man at a time, one community at a time. Last week, we started a new series where we're focusing on effective business communication. The whole essence of this series is to share tips and information with you that makes you a more powerful communicator at work. And as a matter of fact, this requirement is not just limited to the people in the employment track. Whether you're an entrepreneur, even in your private life, your ability to communicate effectively with your spouse, with your children, with the community around you has a lot to do with your success in life. Why? Communication is the fabric with which our lives as human beings are woven. And if you remember, last week we introduced communication, we defined it, we identified the different publics with which you have to communicate, and then we identified the 4 different types of communication around which we will be speaking. And this week, like I promised last week, we are focusing on those things that are critical essentials for effective communication, irrespective of the type of communication that you are doing. And that is where I'm starting this week. But before I get into that, let us do a quick recap of the different types of communication as identified last week. Number 1, we said we have the verbal communication. Number 2, we have the non-verbal communication. Number 3, we have the written communication. And number 4, we have the visual communication. And I'm saying to you that the variables I'm about to share with you is applicable to all of them, so you need to pay close attention. Now, what are these variables? I have 5 to share with you. You know I'm always sharing principles and variables. So, the first one is that you must know your message. When you find effective communicators, they know their message. They don't ramble. They don't get tangled in their own communication. They have a definite message that they are trying to pass across, and they know it clearly in their mind. Now, that's the first thing you need to do. Know your message. What exactly are you trying to say? Are you trying to define something? Are you trying to explain something? Are you trying to point the way? Are you trying to share insight? Be very deliberate and definite about the message that you are trying to share. Make that point number 1. Point number 2 is that you need to create your flow. You must be coherent. You need to be able to link one idea with the next idea, with the next idea, with the next idea, such that by the time you are done, that message that you are trying to pass across gets passed across. So, if you are not clear about the flow, if there is no coherence, you are going to be overworking the people because they will be jumping back and forth and back. And for this purpose, I will always advise that in your flow, you are deliberate to move from the known to the unknown, from the simple to the complex, from the familiar to the strange. It is a more natural thought pattern for the average human being, and it makes your communication more powerful. So that's number 2. You must be deliberate about your flow. Now, number 3 is that you must identify with the audience. You must identify with the receiver. If you remember the basic communication model I shared with you last week, there is the sender, there is the receiver. The clearer you can see the receiver, the more you can identify with the receiver, the easier for you to communicate better with that audience. Imagine you are trying to explain something to a 5-year-old. Because you know the receiver is a 5-year-old, you are deliberate with the type of words that you are using. Because if you use what you consider to be basic, simple vocabulary that is above that of a 5-year-old, my friend, you are only talking to yourself. So, if you are clear as to who the receiver is, you know whether you can use certain terms, whether you can use certain phrases, or whether you must slow down and deliberately explain, or even stay away from those phrases and use more regular and common words. If a doctor is to explain certain things to me now, and he starts to use all those medical phrases, I'm sorry, he's only talking to himself. But if he was to be talking to another doctor, a colleague doctor, they can cut away all the long explanations and use medical jargons, and in 2 seconds they understand what they're saying and they're running with it. So your ability to identify clearly with the receiver helps you to effectively communicate, particularly in the business world. That is number 3. Now, number 4, you then need to find the hook. The hook is that headline message that you can start with that catches the attention of your audience and keeps them connected. Sometimes this can be achieved by introducing shock, or by introducing a joke, or by finding the compelling message and crafting it in a manner that is so catchy and is so interesting. Imagine a Monday meeting where the head of the organization just comes and says, can anybody here imagine what could have happened if we all return here today and this office has been razed down by fire? Most likely all the managers, everybody there is likely going to stop, pause, and try to find out, so what is it trying to say? Was there a fire outbreak or what? Now, if you then have a clear message and you have a deliberate flow and you understand who you are speaking with, your ability to communicate effectively is significantly enhanced. Make that number 4. So let me do a quick recap of the 4 I've shared. Number 1, remember, you need to know your message. Number 2, remember, you need to be deliberate with your flow. Number 3, remember, you need to identify with the receiver or the audience. And number 4 is to find the hook. Now, number 5 is to apply the 4 C's. C for Charlie. Apply the 4 C's. The 4th C is for clear. You must be simple. Simplicity is the name of the game. Take away anything that distracts from the message. Keep it simple, keep it direct, keep it straight to the point. Reduce your meandering, reduce your merry-go-round, just keep it simple. The 2nd C is to be concise. Take out the clutter. Any phrase, any extra word, any unnecessary illustration, take them out. Brevity is the name of the game. The 3rd C is complete. You need to write in a manner that you are not raising more questions than you are answering. And your ability to identify with the audience helps you to know where the knowledge gap can exist, what they know, what they don't know, such that when you are writing, you are filling in those gaps for them, and you are answering the questions that, if you did not answer, may make their brain and their mind to be distracted looking for answers, as against trying to consume the information that you are trying to share. So your message needs to be complete. Do not raise more questions than you are answering. And the last C is that it must be correct. If you have material misstatements, or you are making allegations and you are alluding to facts that are not verifiable, that are contestable, that are debatable, what you end up is, rather than communicating with your audience, you are going to get into a debate with them, you are going to get into an argument with them, and if it is something they don't have to read, before they go 2-3 lines, they have dropped it. So, this is where we are going to drop it this week. But what I'm saying is that whether you are writing, whether you are speaking, whether you are drawing, whichever way you are communicating, these 5 tips that we have shared are critical variables that you need to factor into your communication so that you can become a more powerful and effective communicator. And next week, we will then go into the different types of communication, And we will now focus on those things that are peculiar to them, such that when you add those additional variables to these 5 fundamental variables that we have shared, it empowers you, it enriches you, you become a more powerful communicator, and you can achieve more, whether at work or in life, in your journey to living the dream. Thanks for being here all the time. I encourage you to please feel free and share this extensively. And if there are questions, please ask. Also, don't hesitate to send in your comments. And if you have not subscribed to this channel or the Telegram channel, you are missing something. So please just click on that button now and subscribe. And we'll see you next week as we continue the conversation. Never ever forget, T-Mac is my name, and all I'm trying to do is what? Make a little difference. Thanks for being here, and see you next week. Bye.